All right, team, nothing screams holiday tradition like song and food. And I ain't singing for you. So, I think back to my Christmases and New Year's, and for me, the holiday tradition, Christmas Eve, would always be a beautifully cooked fish, and a salt encrusted is one of the best ways to do it on the grill. Yeah. It keeps all of the essence of the beautiful sweet fish in there. We've got Bronzino, plural Bronzini, and we're going to be cooking this baby up. We'll stuff it, salt and crust, 425. Let's get it going. When gunning for a temperature of 425 Fahrenheit, we want to fill the firebox up about 25 to 30% full, bank all the charcoal, light the fire starter, place it towards the bottom of the pile, stack the charcoal up, and let the flame have access to the fuel source. Let's go ahead and slide that draft door so we can make sure we've got maximum airflow. And now let's go ahead and jump into whipping some egg whites and making the salt crust. So minimum ingredients here, but we do need to separate the yolk from the white. So we will just, and I love doing this. Some people do the back and forth method. I tell you, I get right in there with my hands and just kind of let it drain through, pass it a couple of times. Yeah, I like to wear gloves doing this, but it feels kind of fun doing it without the gloves too. And then we'll save the yolks just in case we're gonna make a béarnaise or I just can't get rid of egg yolks. Now that we've got our 6 egg whites, we're gonna whip. And we want a soft peak here. I've used sort of a balloon whisk, and you're just trying to get air in there, okay? This is gonna help make that crust. The combination of the salt and the egg white with the heat is gonna harden, and we're gonna steam the fish inside this crust. So get a really nice soft peak here. Look at this, look how we're starting to get bubbles in there. That's what we wanna see. Whip it, whip it, whip it. You can use a stand mixer if you don't have it in you, or get your stance, get in there.
That's your stance mixer.
Stance mixer.
Oh, power stance mixer.
Look at that. It's pretty good. All right, now we're gonna go in with 4 cups of salt.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of salt. I'll just whip it in. And this mixture is just bringing back memories. It is so neat. And that's gonna become a beautiful, beautiful mixture. Okay, now, so we've got an opportunity here to leave it as is, or we can bulk it up, right? So it is an ingredient, it is a method. This is gonna create almost a cast, but I'm gonna put a little bit of Spellbound, Lane's Barbecue Spellbound, just to add a little sweet, a little paprika, and just kind of impart these flavors into that beautiful Bronzino. Next, get a grill safe container. And today I've got a nice little Le Creuset kind of casserole dish here. Great on the grill. And we're gonna put about 1/3 of our mixture that we just made right on the bottom. And since we're doing 2 fish today, spread it out. So these fish have already been butterflied. Beautiful, beautiful flesh here. Let's go ahead and sprinkle in a little fennel, a little bit of parsley, and then you can put lemons or limes. I'm gonna put a couple orange segments right in the middle there. And I love to use these oranges. Again, lemons and limes will work, but I love the orange because not only does it bring a citrus note, but it just brightens it up. Now we got the opportunity here to put some salt, but I think there's enough salt in this recipe. So we're gonna close that up, and then same thing with the other fish. The parsley brings an earthy note as well, but feel free to use any herbs you've got growing in the area. If you've got a little bit of dill, throw some dill in there. If you've got sage, sage would work nice. Rosemary I find is a little pungent, so yeah, pass on the rosemary. Simple flavors here. Boom. All right, now let's stand these 2 fish right up on our mixture of whipped egg yolks and salt and seasoning. You go right next to them. I like to stand them up as if they were swimming. You don't have to, but I love the look of that. All right, now let's go on with the rest of our mixture. Look how that's still not separated, nice and cake-like. and we want to cover these fish. Use our hands, it's kind of like wet sand, and just pack it up, and then kind of draw down the sides, bring them on top. Now you can use a spatula or a knife and put cool indentions in here if you want to make it look nice and fancy. For me, that's it. Just kind of cover up everything there. Remember, our grill is stabilizing at 425 degrees. We're going to set that up for an indirect cook. Now this looks like a ton of salt, and it is. It's 4 cups of salt for 2 fish, but you'll be amazed to see that it's just enough to season it the proper way, right? So we're using the salt here not as an amplifier or something to make this too salty or salty, but rather to create that cast, to earthen this fish and steam it. So you're gonna get just enough salt flavor. And that's it. Look at how beautiful that is. When I see a crack like that, I want to kind of just use my fingers and pinch it. Now's the time to do that before it sets, because that's some place that steam would come out. We're off to the races, team. Let's take a look at our fire. Looking pretty good. I'll use my ash tool to kind of knock this down a little bit. Let's go ahead and get our deflector shields in, turn this into pretty much a natural lump charcoal oven for an indirect cook. Close the dome and bring that grill to 425. We're stabilized at 425, fish is on the grill, and this is a quick cook. We're looking at about 15 to 20 minutes, and we want a fish internal temperature of roughly 145 degrees Fahrenheit. So while we're waiting that 15 to 20, let's go ahead and make up a quick sauce. So a little mayonnaise for viscosity. We're gonna chase it with a little Worcestershire.
Chase it.
Chase it with a little Worcestershire. It's good. And people don't realize there is actually anchovies, roasted anchovies in Worcestershire. So not only does it have that great barbecue flavor, but it really pulls out the seafood as well. So good stuff. And then let's put in a little gray Poupon mustard. And this is just gonna help brighten it up a little bit. Now it's a mustard sauce, right? Sounds fancy, you can charge more. Mustard sauce. Good, good, good. That acid is gonna help out as well. And then I want a little punch. We're gonna go in with some red wine vinegar. Not too much. Oh my gosh. All right, whip it in. And I love these simple sauces. And you can see as I'm stirring it, you can see that viscosity. That is sauce-like to me. Let's get a little contrast in color there and earthiness with a bit of fresh chopped parsley. Leave it kind of large too. Tell them Large Marge sent you.
Hey.
There we go.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
A little nostalgia for you.
That'll work. Rough chop, quick sauce. Now the only question is, does it need more mustard? Official taster. Dang, that's good.
Yahtzee?
Yahtzee. 15 minutes on the dot. Let's take a look. And that is gorgeous. Notice the stuff around the edges. That just tells me that yours truly didn't whip those eggs quite enough. We would have had a better crust if we had whipped those egg whites to a stiffer piece. I say we. If I had whipped them, they would have stayed in better. It's a-okay. Listen to this. Nice crust. So we're gonna let the air get to this now, let it cool a little bit. That cast is gonna continue to harden. We came to that beautiful internal temperature of 145. Let's let it rest for a minute, then we're gonna crack that cast. I'm just so impressed. Every time I do this, it's like doing it for the first time. And yet again, this is my holiday memory. Check out this crust. Let's thump it again. Beautiful. And so what I'll do now, and this is so fun to have the family help out with that. You can have a little hammer or something, but just kind of loosen it up around the edges. I'll come to this side now, and now we'll kind of, you can have a paintbrush on there if you want as well. Just kind of loosen these edges up and then take this salt crust off. And you want to see big chunks, right? And that tells you that you did your job properly. And you can see underneath here, it's nice steamed fish. So let's get under. You know, you can serve it up just like this if you like to, you know, but I think we're gonna go for a little higher presentation. So I'm gonna take a couple orange segments and then shingle them right down the center. Center that a little bit. Remember, we still got our sauce as well. Okay, so I'm gonna use my knife and just go right down that spinal area and then cut down where the gill plate would have been. Oh my gosh, and that should just peel right off because it's steamed with all those great flavors inside. And it's okay if it looks a little broken up for this presentation. And I love this. Just a little bit on the top will do, not too much. Oh, why don't we do a little around the outside? Maybe a big dollop there and a medium dollop there and a small dollop here. And do what you want to do. Maybe some zigzag over here. Again, those fennel seeds. And then go on with that parsley. Maybe the parsley is just over the fish to draw your eye to it. It's a fun little plate right there, I'll tell you that. Oh, let's get some parsley over here too. That's a fun, delicious fish right there. Well, let's give it a bite. That's the perfect fish. That was the perfect fish. You know, and the seasoning is so interesting. The way the salt steamed into the fish. It's an even seasoning. It's just a different mouthfeel altogether. I implore you, give this a go. The whole steamed Bronzino is just a fabulous way to celebrate any day. You could do this Christmas Eve, you could do this Tuesday, but really fabulous. Team, thanks for hanging out with us today. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, notification button, all the things, you know. But again, I implore you, make this at home. It's a lot of fun. From my backyard to yours, cheers and happy grilling.